Ekohotblog weekly review of trending stories. If you're a new subscriber or you're watching for the first time, this is Ekohotblog weekly review of trending stories, where we bring to you the juiciest and trending stories of the week.
It has been an amazing week for entertainment lovers, particularly from the buzz around Davido and Chioma's glamorous wedding in Miami, USA. Also, the Ibom air saga really set the internet ablaze as the most sought-after viral video of the unpleasant incident flooded the internet, attracting conflicting opinions and heated debate about who is right or wrong. Indeed, Niger drama has no closing hour. Welcome to this week's episode of Ekohotblog weekly review of trending stories. If you're just watching for the first time, you're in the right place for the biggest, loudest, and most talked about stories of the week. I am Adiola Amuda, and I'll be taking you through all the latest big stories of the week. First, let's take a look at the top stories. Tinubu not sick, still in office, Presidency declared. Tinubu unveils plan for Nigeria's first national industrial manpower development policy. Sanwo-Olu applauds 9 mobiles 2T Brown launch. Ibom air drama, NCAA reviews why hostels stop Animashaun from leaving plane. Ekpe chairman, Honorable Surah Animashaun begins free holiday lessons for Ekpe Pupils. Rep. Wale Raji salutes Ekpe youth, highlights achievements on International Youth Day. Trump promises move against homelessness and crime in Washington. Ukraine's Zelensky rejects Russian demand to surrender Donbass. Chan Eagles succumb to 4 new humbling defeats to Sudan. Tottenham blow 2-0 lead as PSG's late effort seals Super Cup triumph. Davido weds Chioma in a glamorous wedding at Miami. BB Niger Season 10, 3 housemates secure safety from eviction in Week 3. Now the news in full. Tinubu not sick, still in office, Presidency declared. The Presidency has dismissed claims that President Bola Tinubu is unwell and preparing to travel abroad for medical treatment. Ekohotblog gathered that the Nigerian Institute for Investigative Journalism had last week allegedly cited unnamed sources that the presidential medical team was making arrangements to evacuate the president for treatment. It further claimed that Tinubu was bedridden, causing a slowdown in governance, with Vice President Kashim Shettima representing him at official engagement. The report also alleged that several presidential functions scheduled for early last week were cancelled. In response, the senior special assistant to the president on print media, Abdulaziz, told BBC Hausa on Monday that the allegations were false. There is no truth in these statements. He's still in office, Abdulaziz stated. Speculation over the president's health began after his absence at the August 3 ceremony honoring Nigerians women's basketball team, the Tigress, where Shettima stood in for him. Tinubu was last seen publicly on August 1st at the opening of the Summit on Journalism for National Development. Before that, he attended a reception for the Super Falcons following their Women's African Cup of Nations victory in Morocco. The presidency has maintained that the president remains in office and continues to perform his duties. Tinubu unveils plan for Nigeria's first national industrial manpower development policy. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday unveiled plans for Nigeria's first ever national industrial manpower development policy, stressing that the nation's greatest asset is its people, not its natural resources. The president emphasized the urgent need to close the gap between educational outcomes and industrial demands to fully unlock Nigeria's economic potential. Speaking in a keynote address at the opening of the National Opening Industrial Manpower Summit 2025 at the State House Conference Center in Abuja, Ekohotblog gathered that the president, represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, said Nigeria must invest in its citizens without delay or risk serious consequences. He told participants that human capital, along with infrastructural and sound policy, is the bridge between development and decline in every nation, adding that we cannot afford to neglect our people because the world will not wait for us. Tinubu stressed that the summit is not merely a discussion forum. It is a call to develop actionable proposals that will shape Nigeria's first ever national industrial manpower development policy. He assured that his administration will review, adopt, and urgently implement workable recommendations. Our mission is to align the education and training of young Nigerians and the wider workforce with industry needs. We must fix the mismatch between what our institutions produce and what the economy requires. This can only happen if we strengthen collaboration between the public and private sectors to prepare young Nigerians for the realities of today's job market, he said. The president warned that the rise of disruptive technologies demands a constantly adaptive workforce and that Nigeria risks widening its skill gap if it fails to prepare. Up next is Lagos news. Sanwo-Olu applauds Mobile's T2 brand launch. The governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, has praised Mobile's brand transformation to T2, describing it as a remarkable display of creativity, resilience, and technological excellence. Ekohotblog reports that while speaking at the launch of the new brand, theme Tech Meets Tenacity at the Ekohotel Convention Center, Victoria Island, he said the event aligned perfectly with Lagos State's drive for excellence. Governor Sanwo-Olu, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Barrister Bimbola Salu Udei, stated that the initiative resonated with the state's vision of building a connected, competitive, and innovative city, powered by strong public-private partnerships. Lagos is a living testimony of what happens when vision meets hard work and when technology meets tenacity. He told the audience that his administration has deliberately positioned Lagos as Nigeria's technology and innovation capital through targeted policies, strategic investments, and collaborations with forward-thinking partnerships. He noted that technology is now firmly embedded in governance to improve lives and applauded Mobile's introduction of an innovation created for creators and designed for Nigeria. He stressed that technology alone is not enough without the determination to apply, refine, and improve it to make Nigeria greater. The CEO of Mobile, T2, Mr. Obafemi Banibe, said the Mobile network is evolving into a cloud-native and API-ready operation with a focus on innovation and data-driven solutions for customers. He added that the company has signed a national roaming agreement with MTN Nigeria to expand coverage and improve service delivery. The event was attended by dignitaries from technology sector and partners across Nigeria, with the Mobile choir adding vibrancy through musical performances. Still on Lagos news, Ibom air drama. NCAA reviews why hostess stop Emerson from leaving plane. The Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection at the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Michael Achimugu, has provided details from a preliminary investigation into the incident involving Ibom air passenger Comfort Emerson at the airport. Ekohotblog reports that a newly surfaced video online captured the controversial moment when an Ibom air crew member physically assaulted blocked Emerson from leaving the aircraft after landing. This has intensified public outrage over what many Nigerians have described as the airline's humiliating treatment of her. In the footage, Emerson could be heard addressing the air hostess in Pidgin, asking her to step aside for her to alight from the plane. According to multiple sources, Achimugu explained that Emerson engaged in unruly conduct mid-air, including giving the middle finger to both other passengers and the cabin crew. He also clarified that the air hostess blocked her exit because she had assaulted her after other passengers had already disembarked. He said, "You see, all over the world, unruly passenger behavior happens every day. And all over the world, any violent passenger can be removed in whatever way security deems fit, given the situation at the moment. There are standard operating protocols for this. Now, the case here is that the passenger refused to switch off her phone before departure. Other passengers got mad at this passenger. The passenger in the seat beside her actually collected her phone and turned it off. Because, when you refuse to turn off your phone, some passengers are afraid. Yeah, you are reaching the light of all this. So the passenger took her phone and turned it off. All of them. Nobody knew that she was still on the aircraft. They thought she had disembarked as well. While they were preparing the aircraft for turnaround, she just came out of her seat, 14F, and then walked to the hostess on her foot and began to slap her. Because of that action, security was called. When the passenger learned that security had been called, she wanted to leave the plane, and that is why the hostess blocked the exit. And when the security came, you could see she was still struggling and fighting, grabbing people, eating people, and all of that. Bringing such a person out of the small body aircraft was not going to be tidy. There's no way it was going to be tidy. She needed to be removed. The plane was also due to board other passengers who were waiting for a flight, so they had to remove her by whatever means necessary. Up next is Ekpe News. Ekpe Chairman Honorable Surah Olayemi Animashaun begins free holiday lesson for Ekpe pupils. The Executive Chairman of Ekpe Local Government, Honorable Surah Olayemi Animashaun, has begun the free holiday lesson program for primary school pupils within the council area, demonstrating her administration's strong commitment to education. Ekohotblog reports that the lesson commenced on Monday, August 11, 2025, and is still running simultaneously at 4 centers: St. Teresa Primary School, Ekpe, St. Michael Primary School, Ekpe, Community Primary School, Erepoto, and Zumuratu Islamia Primary School, all in Ekpe. This is part of our steadfast commitment to nurturing the leaders of tomorrow, Honorable Animashaun said. We want our children to remain academically active during the holiday period, reinforce their knowledge, and be well prepared for the next academic session. In addition, pupils received free writing materials to support their learning. Education is the most valuable investment in our children's future, and we are determined to give them every opportunity to succeed, she added. Parents and guardians have been encouraged to take full advantage of the program. Education remains the backbone of a prosperous society, and this is our way of contributing to a brighter future, the council board stressed. Still on Ekpe News, Rep. Wale Raji salutes Ekpe youth, highlights achievements on International Youth Day. The member of the House of Representatives for the Ekpe Federal Constituency and Chairman, House Committee on Livestock Development, Rep. Wale Raji, has celebrated the vibrant and progressive youth of Ekpe, describing them as the shining stars whose energy and brilliance keep our community moving forward. Ekohotblog reports that in his International Youth Day message, the lawmaker praised the resilience and innovation of young people across the constituency, noting their contributions to advancing the sustainable development goals in agriculture, education, commerce, and technology. From the farms of Eredo to the classrooms in Ekpe, from the buzzing marketplaces of Mojoda to the youth-led digital hubs at Ogumodede College, Ekpe Grammar School, Model College, Agboa, and others, your actions are making the sustainable development goals a reality right here at home, he said. Rep. Raji stated that he has deliberately involved youth in his legislative work, appointing some of them the brightest young minds into his office to inject youthful insight, energy, and creativity into governance. Together, we have driven policies and projects that speak directly to the needs of our people, he added. Highlighting youth-focused initiative under his leadership, the lawmaker listed building and upgrading schools and providing modern learning facilities in communities, including Owuikosi, Ilege, Ilara, Igboye, Temu, Agboa, Okeabe, Akodo-Ise, Ebute-Afuye, Ekpe Grammar School, Ogumodede College, and Out Primary School. Expanding opportunities for SME through skills empowerment programs and startup support. Holding regular quarterly meetings with youth bodies to ensure their voices are heard and acted upon. Keeping his office accessible and inclusive for every young person in the constituency. To the youth leaders in politics, workplaces, communities, and organizations, you are the heartbeat of the progress in Ekpe Federal Constituency. Your courage to lead, your passion to serve, and your determination to innovate inspire us all, Raji said. He reaffirmed his commitment to creating more platforms, opportunities, and partnerships for youth growth, urging them to keep dreaming, keep building, and keep leading as Ekpe, Lagos, and Nigeria look forward to their continued success. Now on to the foreign scene. Trump promises move against homelessness and crime in Washington. United States President Donald Trump has announced plans for sweeping measures to address what he described as rising crime and homelessness in Washington, D.C., sparking concerns from local authorities over the potential deployment of military-style patrol in the capital city. Ekohotblog gathered that Trump, in a post on social media, disclosed that he would hold a press briefing at the White House on Monday by 10 a.m., where he intends to unveil what he called a comprehensive strategy aimed at restoring order and improving the appearance of the nation's capital. In his remark, the former president stated firmly that individuals experiencing homelessness would be relocated immediately, with promises to provide accommodation, but at the locations far from central part of the city. We are going to clean up the city. Those without shelters will be moved out at once. We will offer you housing options, but nowhere near the capital. As for the criminals, there's only one place for them, and it is prison, Trump declared via his online platform. His comments have triggered a wave of concern from Washington, D.C., particularly over suggestions that National Guard troops or other federal forces could be deployed in the city. Only last week, Trump had directed several federal law enforcement agencies to enhance their presence across Washington for an initial period of 7 days with the possibility of extension. Over 120 federal personnel, drawn from agencies such as the Secret Service, FBI, and U.S. Marshals Service, were reportedly assigned to patrol the city's streets by Friday evening. The president, who remained a prominent figure in Republican politics, accused local leadership of failing to control crime, describing the current state of the security in the city as embarrassing and dangerous. We are not going to sit back while the capital of our great nation is turned into a place people fear to visit. Something must be done, he stated. Trump also suggested that the federal government might consider taking over certain governance functions in Washington if city authorities continue to struggle with managing crime and public order. The comments followed public outrage over a recent attack involving a high-ranking official in the federal government, which reportedly further fueled Trump's resolve to intervene. Still on international news, Ukraine Zelensky rejects Russia demand to surrender Donbas. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has firmly rejected any Russia offer to hand over control of the Donbas region in exchange for a ceasefire. Ekohotblog reports that Zelensky warned that such move would give Moscow a strategic advantage, allowing them to launch further attacks. Zelensky made these remarks ahead of a high-profile meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin scheduled in Alaska. Trump has suggested that any peace agreement might involve some exchange of territories, a claim that has raised fear in Kyiv and across Europe. It is believed that Putin may demand Kyiv surrender the areas of Donbas still under Ukrainian control. Meanwhile, Russian forces have pressed on with their summer offensive, making a sudden push near the eastern town of Dobropilya, advancing about 10 kilometers in a short time. Zelensky acknowledged this advance in several areas, but assured that Ukraine's military would soon respond and eliminate the attacking unit. The Donbas region, which includes the eastern territories of Luhansk and Donetsk, has been partially occupied by Russia since 2014. Russia currently controls nearly all of Luhansk and about 70% of Donetsk. In a recent statement, Zelensky emphasized that retreating from these positions who earned Russia a bridgehead to prepare further offensives. He also warned that Moscow is planning new attacks on 3 fronts, Zaporizhia and 2 other places. Last week, Trump's comments about swapping territories to benefit both countries sparked anxiety about the possibility of Russia withdrawing Ukraine's border by force. At present, Russia's force occupy nearly 20% of Ukraine's land. Up next is sport news. Chan Eagles succumbed to a 4-0 humbling defeat to Sudan. Nigeria's home-based Super Eagles suffered a humiliating 4-0 defeat to Sudan on Tuesday night in Zanzibar, crashing out of the regional tournament with 1 game still to play. Ekohotblog gathered that the Falcons of Jedian stunned the higher-ranked Nigerians with a clinical, high-energy performance that left fans and analysts in disbelief. Sudan, managed by Kwesi Appiah, climbed to the summit of Group D following a dominant display that exposed Nigeria's defensive frailties and lack of composure under pressure. The match began with promise for Nigeria, who threatened early through Raymond Tochukwu and a flurry of corners. They thought they had taken the lead in the 22nd minute when Anthony Chioma found the net, but the goal was ruled out after a VAR check confirmed offside. Moments later, disaster struck. Sudan's Abdelraouf fired a shot that hit the post and ricocheted off defender Leonard Ngenge into Nigeria's net, an unfortunate own goal that gave Sudan the breakthrough. Things went from bad to worse as Ngenge was penalized for a handball in the box just before halftime, while then Kadri stepped up and blasted the penalty home to double the advantage. Nigeria's coach Eric Chelle made a triple substitution at the break in a bid to turn the tide. On 55th minute, Musa Hussein's pressing forced a turnaround, allowing Yagoub to finish calmly into the bottom corner. Just 7 minutes later, he struck again, this time calling a brilliant shot into the top corner to make it 4-0. With the result secured, Sudan closed ranks. Kadir, Yasser Awad and Ali Abdallah were relentless in midfield, while the Sudanese defense and goalkeeper Mohamed Abuja held firm to preserve the clean sheet, denying Nigeria even a consolation goal. Speaking after the match, Sudan's coach praised his side's commitment and clinicality in front of goal, noting that the players stuck to the game plan and never lost focus. Meanwhile, a visibly disappointed Chile admitted that his team lost concentration and were punished for it. Still on sports, Tottenham blow 2-0 lead as PSG's late effort seals Super Cup triumph. Tottenham Hotspur, under new manager Thomas Frank, looked set to signal a strong start to the season, only to suffer a dramatic 2025 UEFA Super Cup defeat to Paris Saint-Germain on penalties. Despite a commanding 2-goal lead, Spurs were pegged back late and ultimately lost the shootout. Ekohotblog reports that Mickey van der Ven opened the scoring just before halftime, capitalizing on a rebound from Lucas Chevalier after a brilliant shot from Paulier in the 39th minute. Early in the second half, Christian Romero headed home for a Pedro Porro free kick to double the advantage. Spurs appeared poised for victory. However, PSG's Lee Kang reignited the contest with a stunning strike from the edge of the box in the 85th minute. Deep into stoppage time, Goncalo Ramos nodded in the leveler from a Dembele's cross, forcing penalties. In the shootout, Tottenham started strongly. Solanke scored first and Bentancur followed, but Van der Ven missed, handing momentum back to PSG. Despite Porro's composed finish, Matitels failed to convert, and Nuno Mendes sealed the victory for PSG with a deciding spot kick. The final outcome, Spurs lose after leading for nearly the entire match. Thomas Frank's debut earns praise for organization and industrious play, but worries remain over defensive reliance and mental strength, especially in crunch moments. The side looked disciplined, but were undone by a late collapse against a ready but initially undercooked PSG side. Though the performance showed promise, Spurs now face hard questions ahead of their Premier League opener against Burnley. Meanwhile, PSG under Luis Enrique begin title defense with major confidence. Now let's take a look at what's buzzing in the world of showbiz and entertainment. Davido weds Chioma in a glamorous wedding at Miami. Nigerian music star David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, showed up alongside his groomsmen in well-tailored suits for his white wedding with Chioma at Miami in the United States of America. Ekohotblog reports that the ceremony comes after the couple's traditional wedding in Lagos in June 2024 and a court wedding in March 2023. In his wedding speech, he displayed deep affection for his wife, describing her as his love, peace, and home. He said in part, "Chioma, I've been on many stages, but this is the nervous I've ever been. You're my love, my peace, my home. You came into my life quietly and became the loudest and most beautiful part of me. You saw the real me the world doesn't see, and you still choose me," he concluded. Politicians, celebrities, and influencers were in attendance to add glamour to the beautiful occasion. Despite the joy, the personalized cufflinks stood out as one of the most meaningful elements of the wedding. For close friends and family, it was a clear reminder that Davido keeps the memory of Ifeanyi close to his heart, even while celebrating new beginnings. The tribute has sparked emotional reactions online. Fans praised Davido for honoring his son in such a subtle yet powerful way, with many calling it the most beautiful moment of the entire wedding. Davido's Miami wedding will be remembered not only for its opulence but also for the emotional tribute that defined the night. In the midst of joy, the singer found a way to keep his late son's memory alive. Still on entertainment news, BB Naija Season 10. 3 housemates secured safety from eviction in week 3. 3 housemates have been confirmed saved from eviction this week in Big Brother Naija Season 10, while 22 others remained at risk. According to Ekohotblog, Ortega found a hidden immunity card that guaranteed his safety. Tracy, the head of the house, used her power to save Culture from eviction. Ruboy earned immunity after being named the most influential housemate in week 2. Ruboy's immunity stems from his week 2 achievement as the most influential housemate, a title that reflects his growing impact in the house. His protection from eviction this week adds to his momentum in the competition. With these 3 housemates safe, the rest of the 22 housemates will now face the looming threat of eviction. The atmosphere inside the house is tense as everyone awaits the result, with strategies shifting and emotions running high. This development has injected fresh excitement into the season, increasing anticipation among fans and housemates alike. Each week continues to test the limits of the contestants' social and competitive skills. As eviction night approaches, all eyes will be on the nominees and the decisions that could reshape this season. Fans remain eager to see who will stay and who will leave, making this week one of the most gripping evictions yet to unfold. And that's a wrap on this week's episode of Ekohotblog's weekly review of trending stories. Remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to always get notified. Which of the news is most astonishing to you? Tell us in the comment section below. I am Adiola Amuda. Till next time, stay safe and stay healthy.